What's up, YouTube? I want to talk about where to buy fragrances. And this is a very important point. Right now, like, you can go to Ross or TJ Maxx and you can find a lot of very discounted fragrances. They're perfect for a daytime and office wear. And they actually do get a lot of very good stuff. And you can sometimes talk to them, find the manager, and see if they carry other brands. Because sometimes they'll have Versace and Gucci. And so that's one spot you definitely want to check out. Now, a lot of people either love or hate the drugstores when it comes to fragrances. Now, every store, I'm going to tell you, has a good, a bad, and ugly. And like, you go to the drugstore or pharmacy, and you find a lot of the scents there tend to be green and they tend to be outdated. And they also tend to have, very medicinal smells. Or you have something that's maybe youthful, but it's very heavy and almost cheap, soapy, medicinal smell. So, I mean, that's one thing about it. But the best places to go for colognes are go to the Abercrombie store and buy Fierce Cologne if you're in college. If you're not near an Abercrombie store at your school, but you see one, you definitely want to check that set out. It's very nice. A lot of people love that one. And Abercrombie, does have a lot of other scents I haven't really focused on reviewing because they just aren't that memorable. But, Aeropostale has some good colognes too for a younger person. And PacSun has pretty good fragrances for the day. But, like, clothing stores tend to sell colognes. And you gotta look at what you got in your collection before buying them. Because a lot of them are inspired by a brand. And then they'll make their own version of that. And a lot of them have an Acqua di Gio smell to them, especially when they take that aquatic matrix and they make it very aromatic with a lot of different notes. And, like 1 Million and Le Male and Amen, a lot of these scents have been heavily copied and heavily inspired. So it's important, if you're looking for fragrances like during the day, look around. Now, there are fragrance shops at the mall, and they'll sell a lot of the big bottles that are value colognes. Now, value colognes, in my opinion, are wild cards. You may find one that smells phenomenal, and then you find 5 or 6 of them that are disgusting and heavily sweet, and it all depends on your chemistry. Like, you may find some of these smell very good on the test strip, but you gotta test them on your skin, because that's when you know if it's gonna work or not. And so, I've spoken about basically clothing store brands and a lot of name brand stuff, but now let's look a few notches higher. If you go to a niche supplier, that's where you're going to find a lot of higher end products that are very hard to get, and that's where they really polish off the fragrance. And that's where niche brands vary way more than any average cologne. And it's a good thing with the niche brands. And they tend to have a much sharper, richer kind of smell. And so people will notice a niche brand and take it any time, any day over an average one. And so if you see a niche clothing store or a niche cologne, it's definitely much cheaper in the long run because it lasts, a lot of those last forever, and they have much stronger smells, and people will notice it. And now, the last but not least is the department store. And a department store tends to cater to the mainstream. And so they sell a lot of stuff that's very commonplace. And it tends to smell very similar. You get Eternity, and you get CK1 and Acqua di Gio, and then you have Chrome, and you have a lot of very common stuff. And the only gourmand scents they're going to have are like Mont Blanc and Amen and Le Male. So basically, it's good to look around a lot when you're buying cologne, because that's where you'll find some really nice stuff. So basically, hope this helps, and thanks for watching.